that I've just been brought to attention, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any of the beasts of the field which the Lord God had made. Now was the serpent Satan in disguise, or was he a beast that God created on day 5? Now I've been taught in the past that the serpent was Satan in disguise in the Garden of Eden. But as I've been reading the scriptures, it has brought to my attention the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Why would it say that? Why would it say that he's a beast of the field? When we go down to verse 14, it says, "And the Lord said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all the cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life." Now again, why would it say that he's cursed above all the cattle and above every beast of the field? And then again, why would it say, "Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life"? Now, wouldn't you think that if this was truly Satan in the Garden of Eden, disguising himself as a servant, wouldn't God say he's cursed above everything? But he didn't say that. He said, "You are cursed above all the cattle of the field and all the beasts of the field." And he also told him, "On thy belly thou shalt crawl." Now this serpent must have been a beast that God created on day 5. That's what I believe. Now I believe that this serpent was corrupted by Satan and became cunning and deceitful himself, and corrupted Eve by telling her that she will not surely die if she ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now I was also wondering, was Satan even allowed to enter into the Garden of Eden after he had fallen from heaven? Because one man was driven out of the garden in verse 24. So he drove out man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Now, if God had put something in place to keep man out of the garden, so he wouldn't be able to touch the tree of life, wouldn't God have had something set up for Satan that he would not be able to enter into the garden? Now, if this is true, then I believe that is why Satan used the serpent to go into the garden to deceive Eve, and not go in himself to deceive Eve. Now when we look in the book of Job, chapter 1 and verses 6 onwards, it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro from in the earth, and walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? And is there none like him in that earth? A perfect and upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God or naught? Hast thou not made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Notice in verse 10 how Satan said to the Lord, Hast thou not made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Now this verse sounds like to me that Satan is saying to God, You have hindered me from getting even near to Job. Because it says, Hast thou not made a hedge about him, and about his house, and all that he hath on every side? It sounds like he's saying he's put a barrier around Job and everything that he's got. Wouldn't that be the same for Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? That God put a barrier around the garden, stopping Satan from entering. That's why I believe the serpent was a beast that was created on day 5, and Satan used it to deceive Eve and Adam in the Garden of Eden, because that beast was able to enter. Now, what do you think? Do you think Satan was the serpent, or do you think the serpent was a beast that was made on day 5? Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching.